You're here because it's spooky season. It's October TBR time, bitch! And I'm ready because I have so much dark romance to read, new releases to talk to you about, and I'm just super excited for the month of October. It's my favorite month of the year. Everything good in the world happens starting in October. Anyway, I feel chaotic. Happy spooky season. It's time to shine. Let's just get into it and hopefully you find something to read that you weren't expecting. Let's start off with one that I have physically already. That is Promises We Meant to Keep by Madigan Mountain. Now this one's not like a dark romance, although it does have darker elements discussed, but it is more of a back to school, boarding school prep kind of moment, except this is years after. So we're following Sylvie, which is the sister of Wit, who was in the book Things I Wanted to Say But Never Did, and I love that book so much. And she is a chaotic character. She has betrayed people. She has done some shady shit. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where her story goes and seeing if I end up liking her more. I'm sure she has her own motivations for why she did things that she did in the previous book, but I'm really excited for this. I love Madigan Murphy's writing. It's like bully romance, but this one I'm not really sure. I know that we have kind of a first love coming back into your life kind of situation that you have hurt in the past, so we'll see how that goes. And it's also brother's best friend. I'm excited. I feel like her books are kind of like cozy fall vibes just because of the boarding school atmosphere, but again, I don't know where we're set at in this one. I do know there's a wedding between Wit and Summer from the first book. That's all I know for setting. Then of course we have the Sugar and Spice book club pick, which is It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. This is an exciting release. We follow Alice's point of view from It Ends With Us, so I'm sure you kind of know what's going on here. So be sure to look out for the live show. It's always at the end of the month, and the Discord for the book club is linked below in my description always. Then for the KU Readathon, it's going to be October 21st and 22nd, and that's the 24-hour readathon I always do with Sarah every month. We read a novella most of the time together on sprints. So if you're interested in that, we're reading Hollow's Grove this month. It's going to be so much fun. It's a spooky kind of novella. It's supposed to be a twist on the Clue game, and it's also enemies to lovers, forced proximity, and best friend's brother. So I'm ready. I'm so ready. I actually read this author's Christmas novella last year. It was called Christmas on the 13th Floor, and it was so hot and just so good. Like, just such a good time. So I'm really looking forward to this. Then we have King of Wrath by Anna Huang. This one is a new series of hers, so I'm excited. It's arranged marriage, which is one of my favorite, and I'm ready. There's a lot of tension. I think they're enemies, so it's also got the enemies to lovers thing going on, and it's billionaire. Then we have the Madigan Mountain series, which is a series by different authors. So the first one's A Little Too Late by Serena Bowen. It is a second chance romance. I believe it's set at a resort, so I'm excited. They're all set like in the mountains in Colorado, which is, you know, I like anything that reminds me of Credence. Please give it to me. Then we have A Little Too Close by Rebecca Yarros. This one is a single parent romance, and it reminds me a little bit of All Roads Lead Here just because of the Colorado setting, and also we have a character who's coming with nothing. So I'm really excited for this one. Second chance isn't my favorite, but I love a single parent trope that's done well, so hopefully this one hits. Then we have A Little Too Wild, which I'm most excited for because it's by Devney Perry, but it is snowboarding sports romance. Snowboarding sports romance. I haven't read anything like that before, so I'm ready. I'm so ready. I cannot wait for this series. I think they're all coming out in October. I don't know what else to say. Colorado books, just, I don't know what it is. I think it's like the wilderness, and there's so many options for tropes in that setting and isolation. Speaking of winter sports, I also want to read Icebreaker, which is an indie romance that's been going around, and it is between a hockey player and an ice skater. And I'm really excited because I love ice skating. Any type, I'll watch it. I love reading about it, and it's not done enough, I think. I know hockey is done a lot in romance books, but I don't see a lot of ice skating ones. And ever since I read and loved from Look Off With Love, I have been looking for things like that, so I want to give this one a shot. I've heard it's cute, so we'll see. And anything that gives me From Look Off With Love vibes, I will immediately put 5 stars on. So you will hear all about that. Going back to spooky vibes, Slashers and Secrets by A.R. Breck. This one's a new release and I'm super excited for it because the title. I mean, it already speaks for itself, but this one is enemies to lovers. I think it has some sort of kind of kidnapping involved. There's mask play. There's a bunch of kinky shit and I'm just excited for a good time. This cover, it's gonna be a good time. And then I'm buddy reading Distorted, which is part of this penitentiary series. It's male and it is all sorts of fucked up, but I'm ready. I'm buddy reading it with McKay and Sarah this month. Gonna be a good time. I've heard good things about this series. It's by Nyla K. If you didn't know, she writes a lot of taboo stuff, but this one I don't think is as taboo as some of her other books, so we will see. But I hear this series is very entertaining at the very least. Speaking of buddy reads, I'm also reading Lake's Edge this month with my friend Liz, and we are very excited about it. She already read the book, but she wants to reread it for preparation for the second book, so I am ready. She said that she thinks that I'll really like this one because I loved Belladonna. This is a YA sort of gothic fantasy. I just think it sounds really good, and she said there might be a love triangle coming out with the second book, so I'm ready for it. I mean, I could do a really good cosplay of this cover. I'm a sucker for a redhead, what can I say? Then if I don't read it at the end of September, I'm finally reading Love Me by Ashley Roztek. I put this on my TBR for months now because the release date has gotten pushed, so I feel like I can't go into it too much because you've already heard me talk about it, but this series is one of my favorites. If you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend in October. It's just so fun, it's short, and it has a suspense kind of aspect to it. We follow Shiloh as she witnesses her whole family get murdered by her stalker, and then she leaves and is in the witness protection program. She moves to Arizona next door to this group of brothers that end up in a reverse harem with her, and it is so much fun, but there's still that thrilling aspect because you still have that stalker that's on the loose. I can't wait. It also has nightmare trope, and I love that. Then we have Blood Orange by Karina Halley. This one is a Dracula retelling, and it's also just a steamy vampire dark romance. Sign me up. That's all I needed to know. I haven't read Black Sunshine yet, but I own it, and I think I will pick it up, but these are all like standalones. They're all interconnected though, so I feel like you should read them in order, maybe, but I don't know if I will. We will see. But there's like a duology, which is Black Sunshine, and then the second one, and then we have Night Wolf, which is like a werewolf romance, and then this one coming out. So I just love the covers, and they definitely scream October. Then we have another one that had a release date push, which was Arcana by Runix. This one has the cover reveal now, so I can pop that up, and I'm really excited for it. It's a prequel kind of thing to Gothicana, and it's a gothic romance with some dark elements, some paranormal vibes. Then we have Divine Violence, which is a novella that's set on Halloween night. So we have Halloween night, a stalker, and a toxic relationship with a bunch of lies, and it's just gonna be so fun. It's a prequel novella to a series that this author has coming out, so I'm excited to see if I like it, and then I'll hop in later to the duet that she's writing. Next, I had to mention Quarterback Sneak by Candy Steiner. This one is a football romance, so it's perfect for football season, and it's a coach's daughter / captain of the football team romance. I loved Blindside, so I'm ready to continue on. Then for the Winers Book Club, we'll be reading 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. This one's a mystery. It's about a guy. He wrote like a bunch of write-ups on perfect murders, and they end up being too closely related to real life murders because his were based on fiction, but it ends up being really close to murders that have actually happened. So it ends up being some sort of conflict with that, and that is what this book is about. So we'll see if I like this one. I didn't really love Peter Swanson's other book, The Kind Worth Killing, so we'll see how we feel. But this one is one of the only non-romance books on my TBR. We'll see if I pick up like a Riley Sager. I might pick up The House Across the Lake too. but I already have an ambitious TBR, so we'll see. Then I'll also be picking up where I left off on the Brutal Birthright series because I'm doing a series vlog for it, the whole series. So hopefully that comes out before the end of the year, but I'll just be continuing on with the series, and I'm super excited to read them all and have another Sylvie Lark backlist checked off. We also have Losers by Harley LaRue coming out. Yes, ma'am. It follows the same characters from the Dare, except they're older now. And we've got like race cars and shit. I don't know if it's race cars or like they drive fast type vibes, but we already know it's gonna be a good time. And lastly, we have The Kiss Curse, which is kind of a cuter one. This one is the sequel slash companion to the X-Hex. We're following the beloved character Gwyn, which was my favorite character from the X-Hex. These books are just cozy and they remind me a lot of Wizards of Waverly Place. I just remember thinking that last year when I read the X-Hex. If you're in the mood for something cheesy and Halloweeny, you know, like Disney Channel vibes. So that's all the books that I plan to read in October. I'm sure others will come up, but this is ambitious. If you made it this far, leave a spooky emoji down below or tell me what book you are really excited to read this month, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!